When you guys were cheering more for her, I was a little bit upset. So next time, please, go for me.
When you all cheered more for her, I felt a bit upset. Next time, please support me instead. Aryna Sabalenka.
I love Madrid. It's an amazing tournament.
The world's #1 ranked tennis player, winner of 3 titles in 2026, holder of a 25-1 record, and the most dominant force in women's tennis this season, delivered those words not in defeat or frustration, but just seconds after a commanding 6-1, 6-4 victory. It happened on the largest court at the Caja Magica, in front of a packed Madrid crowd. She had just won convincingly, yet she was still telling the audience how to feel. What makes that moment so striking isn't only what she said, it's who she was referring to, and what was unfolding for that player's fans elsewhere in the same complex at that exact time. For days earlier, Aryna Sabalenka and Alex Ila had both been in Madrid for the 2026 Laureus World Sports Awards at the Palacio de Cibeles. Sabalenka was named Sportswoman of the Year and admitted on stage that she felt like disappearing from the spotlight. Meanwhile, Ila walked the red carpet in a custom Filipiniana gown designed by her uncle, Ret Ila, a beige chiffon dress paired with a piña bolero, and told the cameras,
I've always had a dream that kind of like when I'm in a red carpet, I'll wear what's called the Filipiniana, and it's a very traditional Filipino formal way. It's perfect.
And in that moment, it felt almost poetic, the Laureus World Sports Awards. 2 players, same ceremony, same city. One wanting to disappear from the spotlight, the other stepping confidently into it, wrapped in her nation's identity. That contrast didn't end on the red carpet. 2 days after the Laureus ceremony, on April 22nd, Alex Ila walked onto the Aranza Sanchez Stadium, the second largest court at the Caja Magica, and dismantled former top 15 player Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova 6-3. 6-3. Representatives from the Philippine embassy in Spain were in attendance, while Filipino fans, waving flags and chanting, made themselves impossible to ignore. Then came the moment that went viral. During her post-match interview, Ila switched mid-sentence into fluent Spanish, sending the crowd into a roar. Her simple, heartfelt declaration, "I love Madrid," became the clip of the day. The Filipino wave had arrived. The tournament had been put on notice. But then, the Madrid Open organizers made a decision that raised eyebrows. As noted by Tennis Head in a published editorial, it gave Ila reason to feel overlooked. For her second-round match against 19th seed Elise Mertens on April 24th, she was scheduled on Court 5, a smaller outer court with only a fraction of the capacity and visibility of the main stadiums. The very capacity of the arena she had electrified just 2 days earlier. The Filipino fans who had traveled all the way to Spain to support her, flags ready, chants rehearsed, found themselves unable to fully pack the court. The tournament simply hadn't given them a stage worthy of the moment. Ila lost 2-6, 1-6. During the second set, she was issued a time violation warning, one she clearly disputed. Pointing toward the umpire, she pushed back. "First of all, please let me speak. You need to give me a warning first." Even in defeat, on a court too small for the occasion, she refused to fade quietly into the background. And here's the detail that defines this entire story. While Alex Ila's supporters were squeezed onto Court 5, unable to surround her, unable to recreate the energy they had just days before, Aryna Sabalenka was playing at the exact same time on Manolo Santana Stadium, the largest arena at the Caja Magica. It was a full house, maximum capacity, every seat taken. And still, she found the crowd's support lacking. That isn't a coincidence. It's a portrait. Ila entered her. Alex Ila entered her Madrid campaign ranked number 44 in the world, coming off a career-high number 29 achieved just a month earlier, the highest ranking ever reached by a Filipino woman in WTA singles history. But the Filipino fans who showed up in Madrid weren't there because of a number. They were there for something rankings can't measure, the sense that one of their own is redefining what's possible. Her uncle, designer Ret Ila, who created her Filipiniana dress, put it simply, "They always tell me, now you're just Alex Ila's Tito, and I'm proud of it." An entire community had rallied around this 21-year-old left-hander from the Philippines. Yet tournament officials placed her on an outer court as if that energy would simply fade. It didn't. It spread, spilling into the atmosphere of the entire complex, shaping the overall crowd dynamic that Aryna Sabalenka would later question over the main stadium microphone. Now consider the pattern. This wasn't the first time Sabalenka had found herself at odds with a crowd in 2026. In March, after withdrawing from the Dubai Tennis Championships due to a hip injury, she spoke out publicly, expressing frustration at. She directed her frustration at tournament director Solatalik after he suggested that late withdrawals should result in ranking point penalties. Her response was emphatic. "I think it's ridiculous." I don't think he presented himself in the best way possible. His comment was ridiculous. I'm not sure I even want to go back there after that. For me, it's too much. The contrast is striking. The same player who once threatened to boycott a tournament over a director's remarks now finds herself cast in a rapidly spreading narrative as the one being quietly resisted by fans. The symmetry isn't accidental, it points to a pattern. It suggests a player so accustomed to controlling her environment that any disruption to expectation becomes a public grievance. Then came the Bernabeu moment. Madrid Open organizers installed a temporary clay court inside Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, home of Real Madrid, creating one of the most viral spectacles of the tennis calendar. Rafael Nadal, Jannik Sinner, and Iga Swiatek all took part. Nadal's young son even stepped onto the clay, while club president Florentino Perez sat in a ceremonial umpire's chair. The moment captured global attention. Aryna Sabalenka chose not to participate. In her press conference, she explained, "I'd like to focus on the tennis, not on those things." While 3 of her peers turned the sport into a shared spectacle. She stood apart, choosing preparation over participation. The decision may have been rational, but the optics were unmistakable. The reaction to Aryna Sabalenka's comments about the Madrid crowd only reinforced what many fans had been sensing throughout the season. Social media responses, documented by Sportskeeda on April 26th, captured the mood bluntly. "What a terrible attitude. Fans will support whoever they want. Why does she do this every time? You're world number 1 and the favorite in every match. Let people cheer for the underdog." And simply, this isn't about you. You're not the center of the WTA. The fans who had been expressing these sentiments for months, those who still showed up for Alex Ila on Court 5 despite the lack of spotlight, weren't overreacting. They were reading the room before the room even had a name. Then comes a voice with perspective. Greg Rusedski, a 1997 US Open finalist, a 12-year mainstay in the top 100, and a former world number 4, has seen the sport from the inside at its highest levels. He has spent his post-playing career as one of the most analytically precise voices in British tennis commentary. Greg Rusedski is not a fan, he's a professional evaluator of talent. After Alex Ila's loss to Elise Mertens on Court 5, Rusedski didn't hide behind diplomacy. Speaking on the Off-Court podcast, as reported by Tennis 365 on April 25th, he was direct. "She's too good a player. She'll figure it out. What I like is her resilience. And if you're a fan, just be a little patient. It might take a bit longer, but she's got a great team around her." A former world number 4 doesn't use the word resilience lightly. In professional tennis, resilience is the currency that separates careers that fade into footnotes from those that reshape the record books. Rusedski wasn't consoling a fan base, he was identifying a quality. The kind that survives bad draws, questionable scheduling, difficult days, and the pressure of carrying an entire nation's expectations onto a court that feels too small for the moment. The decision at the Kaja Magica to place Ila on Court 5 wasn't just a scheduling misstep. It was a statement, intentional or not, about how tennis institutions still measure and assign star power. And by almost every available measure, that decision was wrong. The Philippine embassy showed up for her opening match. The crowd that filled the Aranza Sanchez Stadium on April 22nd didn't gather by chance. The Filipino diaspora, across Spain, across Europe, across the Americas, has organized itself into one of the most energized and visible fan bases the WTA Tour has seen in years. And yet, tournament directors are still assigning that energy to outer courts, simply because the ranking number hasn't yet caught up with the moment. That disconnect is becoming harder to justify, and soon, it may become impossible. After Madrid, Aryna moves on to the 2026 Catalonia Open as the 6th seed, followed by the Italian Open, and then French Open, her second career main draw at Roland Garros. Each stop will pose the same question Madrid struggled to answer: where do you place a player whose fan base is bigger than her seed? Because the Filipino wave isn't traveling to Stuttgart or Rome for sightseeing, they're going because she is. Meanwhile, Aryna Sabalenka faces Naomi Osaka in the round of 16 on April 27th. Osaka brings her own global following, deep support from Japan, and a wide Pan-Asian audience. If the Kaja Magica crowd leans toward Osaka, it won't be confusion. It won't be disrespect. It will be the same force that filled smaller courts, spilled into walkways, and reshaped the atmosphere of the tournament itself. And at that point, the question won't be why the crowd sounds different. It will be why anyone expected it not to. Here's a polished and cohesive rewrite of your final section. If the crowd leans toward Naomi Osaka the way it leaned into Aryna's orbit in the days prior, then Aryna Sabalenka may finally have her answer. It won't be that Madrid is uniquely disloyal. It may be that she's been asking the wrong question all along. Aryna's loss to Elise Mertens wasn't subtle or debatable. It was decisive, 2-6, 1-6. Clear, comprehensive, and played out on the smallest stage the tournament could offer. She didn't deny it, but she didn't disappear into it either. She remained in Madrid, competing in doubles alongside Zeynep Sonmez against the number 2 seeds. And in the middle of that singles defeat, on court 5, she delivered a moment that said more than the scoreline ever could. Standing near the umpire's chair in the second set, after being issued a time violation, she didn't quietly accept it. She looked directly at the official and said, "First of all, please let me speak." On a minor court, in a one-sided match, with her Madrid run slipping away, she still insisted on being heard. That's not just toughness, that's identity. She wore a Filipiniana gown at the Laureus World Sports Awards as a quiet statement of where she comes from and what she represents. For days later, on court 5, that statement was no longer quiet, it was unmistakable. A Filipiniana on the red carpet. A packed Aranza Sanchez Stadium on a Tuesday afternoon. An embassy delegation in the stands. A viral Spanish interview. A crowd that followed her energy, even onto the outer courts of the Kaja Magica, and then spilled into the atmosphere of the entire venue so completely that the world number 1 could feel it from the main stage. If you want, I can now stitch everything into one final, publication-ready article with a strong headline and intro. From the main stadium, where she felt it and still asked for more. Because here's what the court 5 scoreline can't explain. Aryna lost her match, yet the story remained about her fans. Aryna Sabalenka won hers, yet the story became about her complaint. That inversion tells you everything. This is what real crowd power looks like. The kind that crosses borders, that mobilizes at an embassy level, that doesn't wait for rankings or marketing campaigns to validate it. It isn't assigned, it's built. Every fan who showed up in Madrid, flags raised, chants ready, Philippine embassy badges visible, recognized something before the schedule makers did. They weren't responding to a ranking. They were responding to belief. Now the rest of the tennis world is catching up. What happens when Aryna steps onto the clay at the French Open, her second career Grand Slam main draw, and the Filipino wave fills a stadium that can finally hold it? This story isn't over. The Italian Open is next. Then Paris. Then every stage that the sport will have to recalibrate around her presence. Because some stories don't belong on outer courts. They demand the center stage.